Howdy folks, Zach Smith, Pest Dude. We're talking about the Victor lineup because Victor is everywhere. When you're looking at for traps and electric mouse traps and rodent control, Victor's name is all over the place because they're one of the biggest end user homeowner residential do-it-yourselfer product lines. So let's talk about their product line. Okay, I got the main selection of their products here and we'll go over them one by one, okay? Start with electric rat and mouse traps, okay? Very common options for people. They want to have a clean kill, no body visible. All right, this here is your electronic mouse trap, not a fancy name. They don't market it with a bunch of, brand naming. It's just an electronic mouse trap because it says what it does and it does what it says. Okay, humane, high voltage shock, no see, no touch disposal, and they trademarked that, folks. Okay, you put some batteries in here, put some attractant in here, you turn it on, boom, and what happens? They walk in here where you can't stick your fingers. It's awfully dark in here. You can't stick your fingers in there, but those are electronic zap pads, okay? When it's closed up and you set it along the runs where the mice like to run, near the areas of activity you're seeing, and you put some attractant in here. With mice, you don't always need attractant because mice like to just go and hide in little cubby holes anyway. But a little attractant in here and you will kill one mouse, maybe two, but it says one, it's one. Okay, but they have a bigger version, okay? If you have a lot of mice, you've got a bigger option, okay? This here is the multi-kill, they trademarked that, electronic mouse trap. Capacity is 10 mice per use, okay? It's got a safety shut off, use anywhere indoors, easy disposal, and I'll show you, okay? For one, it holds more batteries because there's a lot more going on, okay? Batteries go in here. Batteries are not included, folks. On-off switch, okay? Drawer for disposing the up to 10 dead mice. Now, here's a bunch of codes to tell you what the lights mean. And the options here are power on, mouse kill, full, which you want to know because if you don't see it's full, you're going to smell it's full, problem, and battery low. Okay, so it's going to give you enough info from blinking lights. What's kind of cool is you can see how the mice get in. There's stairs up the back, this way and that. So you place it along the wall and they enter in and go up the stairs. Similar to the little one I just showed you, there's the killing pads, but after a kill, it rotates and drops the dead mice down in that little drawer, okay? So, good if you have a constant ongoing mouse problem that you want to control with electronic quick kill and no see, okay? If you're going to trap mice, we'll stay on mice. If you're going to trap mice, Victor makes a number of mouse trap products. Most classic one are the little wooden snap traps. If you remember the other day, I let one go on my finger on a different video. Got it backwards here, but I set it and put my finger and let it go and hurt really bad. It hurts really bad. You're going to put these out if you've got kids and pets. You need to put these where their kids and pets won't touch this or they're going to get their nose or their finger really hurt, okay? But this is just your no-brainer. I like the metal option here for the trigger because it's pliable. With some pliers, you can put peanuts and other hard nuts in here. Hard items, hard lures or hard foods, okay? You'll see later when we talk about the expanded plastic one, this is really good for putting pliable foods like apricots and beef jerky. You can also smear peanut butter or other gel baits and gel attractants and such in here, okay? That's the rat version we'll talk about in a second. But here you've got your classic wooden mouse trap. They call this the original, Victor Original Mouse Trap. Powerful and effective, #1 choice for professionals is what it says. I don't really use Victor a whole lot. Actually, we have a few other products for the pro field. Mouse trap's a mouse trap, folks, okay? So long as it snaps hard. Not all the mouse traps out there have a strong spring, okay? If it's a name brand, it's a big brand, and it's around and you feel like they're everywhere, it's not failing, okay? The reason your mouse trapping is failing is not the trap. Usually it's where you put it or a food or attractant you've put on. Okay, but let's go down the list here. So this one's not got a fancy label. This is called your Victor Power Kill, okay? This is actually a very easy set trap. I'm pretty sure easy set was already taken by, probably their own gopher trap, the Victor Easy Set. This is easy to set. Instead of having to grab it by the working end, you can just pull back here and it's just triggers right there, okay? You've already put your attractant in the cup and the mouse comes along and tries to nuzzle that out there and it lets it go and snap, okay? Not as gnarly of a product to handle, not as hair trigger of a product to handle, as these will go off as you set them. You gotta really be delicate because they're really hair trigger. These are a little less of a hair trigger, okay? Mouse has to be a little more clumsy. But again, like with mice, you put them where they run and they'll step right on it. They don't even need attractant sometimes. It's about where you place it, okay? Let's switch over to rats. Oh, I've got one more. Tin cat, okay. In the industry, we call this a tin cat, but this is actually the Victor tin cat. Multi-trap mouse trap. I've reviewed these before. I reviewed the Catchmaster. I couldn't tell you much different between the brands. Mouse goes in. This is a special little door. You can't open it with your finger. You have to be a mouse. You gotta step on it just right. It'll teeter-totter and let the mouse in with no resistance. The spring rate is just 0. And then as soon as the mouse steps off, it's back up. They can't get out, okay? They run in and they just run around in here, and we can talk about, you can either use this as a humane trap. If you check it all the time, it's not likely you're gonna catch them before they die, but if you do, you save the day if you wanna do it humane. A lot of people will put a glue board in these. The glue board will keep the mouse from running around in here and just hang tight until the whole thing goes in the garbage. Usually what happens is you put these inside your garage, your shed. They're not real pretty for inside the house, folks. And you put it out where the rodents are rampant, and mice always just run in here to hang out and they get caught. It's just kind of just a passive trap, so to speak, okay? Victor Tin Cat. Kind of a cool name. I'm sure they're proud of themselves for that. Okay, now let's go over to rat traps. Okay, this is the big old electric version of the little mouse one, okay? And this is aptly named the Victor Electronic Rat Trap, okay? Never touch a dead rodent again. Kills in seconds. New and improved design. Kills rats and mice. So this one's even labeled for mice, which anyway, mouse can fit in there. The idea is you don't need to touch the dead rat because you're going to just dump it out, okay? There's no holding compartment. The rat just hangs in here dead. And you know it's in there because you can see it. Big old battery case here because it's got a lot more zap than the little one. On-off switch, the light that lets you know it's working, but not the complex light of the other one that's going to tell you a lot of stories like full, battery low, all that. That one's designed to sit a little longer. And okay, open to bait. There's a little door here that allows you to slide some food in. And then the air holes here allow there to be some, ventilation. The rat's gonna come along and smell it here, but can't get in. So it's gonna go around the other side, walk in, steps on those electric plates and is dead instantly, okay? You could put your hand in there. You could probably figure out a way to get zapped by this thing, especially children. So be mindful. That's why it's got a bunch of those yellow and orange warnings on here that says this thing will zap you. This one you can't get your fingers in at all. That's just the way they do it, folks. All right, now we're still on the rats, so let's just come on back to the one we recently referenced here. This comes usually in a plastic wrapper like this, but this is your Victor wide pedal, as for the big yellow expanded paddle. Rat trap, powerful and effective, #1 choice for professionals. And a bunch of instructions on the back, but I can show you here pretty easy. Take off this little pin. If you're always curious, these are just throwaway. They come to keep this guy from dangling around in transit. You pull this back, big heavy spring. You can really feel that force. This goes over here and catches underneath there. Come on, do it for me on camera. Ooh, see, it's a hair trigger, right? If I had to let go. But that's what you got to know is these things are hair trigger. I'll put it on the firm setting so we can demonstrate a little bit better. Okay, let it go and it didn't snap in your hands because they do. You got to handle this by the back end, folks. Back end, because these things, when you set them down, sometimes they go off. If you put heavy fruit on there, it's going to keep going off. Every time you let go of this, it's going to keep going off. You got to beware because people will hold it from this end and get their fingertips smashed, okay? This thing is gnarly. Here, I'll just set it off. Yeah, it's like a gunshot. My ears are literally ringing. That thing is powerful. Don't get your fingers caught in it. People ask me all the time why sometimes you go with the yellow plastic paddle or pedal. Why do you sometimes go with the copper colored one? This holds soft baits much better. This one can hold soft baits or hard baits like nuts. Sometimes this is all you got. Many people say I love this one. Many people say I love the other paddle or treadle. There's a lot of little terms for this, trigger pan. They all work great. It's really where you set them, how you bait them, or what attractant you use. For rats, attractant is key. understanding what they're feeding on, understanding what they're willing to try, understanding that they're going to pass over your food a few times if they're not comfortable with the new trap and the new environment. In fact, these things smell good to you and me. This is a very bright smell of fresh pine. Okay, really a nice smell because they're really like fresh lumber. But that's a bright new smell in a rat's world that hasn't smelled like fresh pine in a long time. So it's new in their environment. Rats are really skeptical about new things. It's new, it smells different. So what a lot of the pros will do is take all their fresh traps, take one dead body, chuck it in there with them and let it sit for a little while and get that stink. Or go around, you got a piles of droppings or dirt and droppings in their runs, just dusting this with dirt and droppings. But wear gloves and wear a mask, okay? Don't handle rodent dirt and droppings and such with your bare hands, and don't breathe that in. All right, I'm the Pest Dude. Check out our video description for links to all of this, where you can get it online. We make a teeny little percent, Amazon percent, on what you buy. I'm really not here to make $1 million. I'm here to teach you how to get rid of rodents safely, effectively. Don't harm your pets. Don't harm your kids. Don't expose people and pets and the wildlife to rodenticides until you know what you're doing. The Pest Dude channel is really about me teaching and giving back, because I run into customers all the time who are trying it themselves and they're doing it really wrong, and they're exposing themselves to a lot of insecticide, a lot of rodenticide, and they're putting traps in all the wrong places, and they're continuing to suffer nightly. I say nightly because a lot of rodent issues are nighttime issues. A lot of bug issues are nighttime issues. You go to bed and you start thinking, is that scratching I hear? Is that chewing I hear? Is that my new super unaffordable to replace dishwasher getting eaten from inside because I hear crunch going on in my kitchen? Yes, that's what's going on. That's stress and strain. What the Pest Dude channel here is about, how to help you get rid of these things yourself, cheaply, quickly, safely, or telling you, if you see all this and you're not interested, when you go call the pros, you have some education. You hear them say what they're going to do, and you've heard it from somebody else. You can talk to me, comment on our videos. I'll respond best I can. Go to pestdude.com and go to our contact us and ask us questions. I'll respond as best I can, okay? And you'll have knowledge is power. I just did a long rant the other day on my way to work about arming yourself with intelligence, gaining intelligence on your pest issue and how these things work is everything in pest control. Do I use this one or this one? It's secondary to the intelligence of, is it a rat? Is it a mouse? What are they eating? Where are they living? Which way do they travel? Have I already freaked them out that they've become very wise? Rats will become wise. They will learn, oh man, that person's put out traps and those traps aren't set right, and I've gotten scared of those traps, and everything that looks and smells like this is now skeptical, and rats can jump 3 feet. So if they don't want to touch your trap, they're gonna just jump right over it. They are very skeptical. They call this neophobia. You may call it an intelligence in rats. I call it skepticism, built-in skepticism. They don't trust anything until they prove it's trustworthy. And that often means you want to have one shot to get them and get them good. Because if they get wise to you, you're going to be chasing your tail while the rats are having a field day in your house. All right, Pest Dude out.